which, as I said last night, it has different sections from different voices. It was my investigations as an archivist at Ese Puerto Montt. Every Thursday afternoon, our group gathers at the foundation to drink coffee and discuss the week's Deroca-themed events. Lately, we've been focused on the anti-anthology of frightful morphology, dedicated to presenting the work of contemporary poets in the Derocian tradition. After much discussion, we agreed that they should not exclude those who play with or question the work of Deroca himself. The question of how far such a challenge should go without betraying the work of our master, however, had got us worked up. You might as well go over to the Nerudians, Emilia sneered at one point. An ugly moment. Things had reached a low. The discovery of the sarcophagus drawing came at just the right time. It would have been just another Thursday if I hadn't seen it. I was organizing the archive in the morning when I stumbled across the drawing, on a page I could have sworn wasn't there before. We'd always known Deroca and his disciples were partial to the occult and to explorations of the hidden side of Chilean history, but never before had we seen evidence of this particular search. There, rendered hastily in ordinary black ballpoint, was a small coffin, its lid raised a few inches. Alongside it, a phrase was written in what looked to be the hand of Deroca. "Open your 7 eyes to the buried sarcophagus." A couple of numbers in parentheses accompanied the drawing, coordinates. The drawing was precisely something Deroca would make. Like us, he believed, in addition, the value of giving something from the imagination to what already exists in the world, creating from nothing, inventing, drawing into being, contributing, mixing the paints of what already exists into something new, summing, engendering, defying death, multiplying life. Many artists believe in such ideas, of course, but Deroca conceived of addition in a manner less organic, more explosive. His thought was so intense that it was capable of pushing against the walls of the possible, bursting a new invented sarcophagus into the world. What could the sarcophagus mean? I wouldn't be surprised if Deroca had left a stash of unpublished poems to his followers. I wouldn't be surprised if, before he killed himself, he'd arranged for these to be buried in a coffin in a secret place, for those loyal to him to find years later. Anything was possible. I searched for the location, which appeared to be in the south of the country. The reference to 7 eyes could well be an allusion to Deroca's work. Satanas, written from the perspective of Satan in an attempt to demolish Christianity's feel-good precepts. I exist beneath the unspooling day, here. I open my 7 eyes above the unrolling of metal sheets and indisputable triangles. I refute the truthless argumentation of the skeleton. And touching the terrified real, I initiate time, friends, I initiate time. Are we going to look for it? Asked Valentina when I told the others about the sarcophagus at the afternoon meeting. The answer had preceded the question. There was no doubt that to follow the lead was the only option. Even if it were a wild goose chase, we'd never be satisfied until we knew. Besides, it wasn't as if we could trust this kind of find to the police or the literary scholars at the Catholic University, all of whom had their own sinister interests. Maybe it was a trap, even a suicide mission. None of us were stupid, but the thought of danger excited rather than frightened us. In reality, this kind of excitement is why I became an archivist. To others, working with past documents might seem dull, even conservative. It's just the opposite. To attempt to gather the metals of past moments in the river of time and scoop their value into the present is always dangerous. How can one protect what with change tends inevitably to decay? The mere collection of documents is not enough. A passive panning for gold never works. You won't ever find anything. It's necessary to collect the raw metals of past texts, then transform them, interpret them, rework them, give them a contextual underpinning. A transformation required work with a cool head, without emotion. This is what results in gold. The true historian is the alchemist. I thought of our group with tenderness, myself, the other Derocians, the granddaughter of the poet who set up the foundation to create and protect his legacy, knowing that like everyone else, our idol too would eventually be forgotten in the eternal sands of time, and in the short term would exist only as a source of comfort for obsessive or lost souls like ourselves who had stumbled upon the author's work. It was a conscious decision to head south. Even now I don't regret it. We took the bait and chased the clue, entranced by the thought of a sarcophagus containing who knows what hidden writings by Deroca. Whipping our excitement even further, Eduardo remembered a line from one of Deroca's poems about a sarcophagus that popped open during a nocturnal storm. An image so dramatic, violent, Nietzschean, and explosive that it served as a wrench in the heartstrings, a call to action. What did Deroca have waiting for his literary inheritors? What undiscovered verses? What source of ecstasy? What satanic clue? What window onto the personality of a man so unpredictable and passionate? 7 of us made the trip. Camila, Francisco, Emilia, Valentina, Eduardo, Lucas, and Vicente, that is, myself.